Hi, I'm Andy Allen from Wedding Trader, and I'm here today with Helena Cotter, and we're going to be doing a series of interviews and talks with Helena throughout the year. As we approach the end of this year, we're going to be sort of looking forward, but we're also anticipating that we've still got some serious problems with the pandemic and how that might affect your staff, your business, your boutique, and just the general running of your business. So I'm going to pass you over to Helena now, and we can begin the conversation. Hi, Helena. Welcome.
Hi, Andy. Thank you. How are you?
I'm good, thank you. So thank you for joining us today. So we're coming to the end of December, and we're sort of looking again at more restrictions and the pandemic that we were hoping last year would be a thing of the past, and it's kind of reared its head again as we approach the end of the year. So we just wanted to have a chat really about what your thoughts are and what people could be doing and that kind of thing.
It has been an interesting year so far, hasn't it? And since we last spoke, obviously, clients of mine that I've spoken to and worked with, and thankfully been able to get back on the road in the last few months, there's just been such a feeling of relief. And thank goodness for that, we're getting back to normal, or some semblance of normality. And of course, now it appears that the rug's been pulled out from under us a little. So I guess the message to bridal retailers, really, who always work so hard, is to just keep peddling, keep doing what you do. If you find that we go into another lockdown, which I'm praying we don't, but if we do, it's a time really to try and get more creative and think about how you can sell your services, sell your business and what you do in a less conventional way, let's say. And certainly things we can look at are social media. Social media, love it or hate it, I'm sort of fairly down the middle with it all. I'm certainly no technological genius, but I do what I feel is necessary for my own business. And I think it's really an untapped market in some regards, especially when we look at the website. Could a website be classed as social media? Possibly, but certainly they often get overlooked because people are more in favor of things like Facebook, Instagram, Twitter. So I think definitely more can be done on a website. When it comes to keeping staff informed about where the business is going, it's vitally important to keep them on board, because at the end of the day, they are at the coalface. They are the customer-facing people more often than not. What tends to happen is business owner will sort of be working away in the background there. So it's vitally important to keep your finger on the pulse as a business owner and make sure you are actually seen on the shop floor in your premises as a major part of your team.
It's a very kind of turbulent time again, because we just don't know with the wedding industry what restrictions are going to come in, if any. So it's keeping confidence with the consumer in a time when we can't really be certain of anything. Again, at this stage, it feels like we just had Holland going to a full lockdown for a month last night. It appears that we're on sort of shaky ground again at the start of a new year, which doesn't inspire people with a great deal of confidence for moving on and going full throttle into the 2022.
Indeed. And also, historically, January to March were always the busiest months in bridal retail. And January, I don't know anyone that would ever take a day off in January. It was absolutely flat out go. So it would be extremely detrimental, let's say, to the industry if shops have to shut in January. It would just be absolutely awful. But having said that, I am sure that these fantastic creative business owners and teams within these bridal retail environments can really pull out all their creative stops and think, what else can we possibly do? Could it be that you could do a video fashion show which is based in your premises, and you have your team modeling the gowns? Here we have this dress, here we have that dress, this is the price. If you'd like to order it, if you'd like further information, that kind of thing. I don't know. It's got to be more creative. And I think what really annoys me about the government, and I understand they're in the most desperate position, I understand that, but the closing down of non-essential retail, you know, bridal business, the bridal industry brings in billions of pounds into this country every single year. I mean, the figure is astronomical. And I think it often, businesses like that often get left behind in this sort of scenario. And it's just a real shame. And there isn't really a great deal of help for self-employed people in this country.
The wedding industry is quite unique in the fact that in January and February, it tends to be the busiest time of the year for bridal boutiques, because most businesses have just kind of had their busy period in Christmas. So we're hoping that restrictions don't affect things too much if they do come in with you know, whatever it is they decide as the week goes on. But what about leadership? And if you own a boutique, and how do you keep morale and positivity going with your staff?
Yeah, not an easy one, particularly if you are the owner of a business and people are looking up to you for leadership, for motivation, to keep them, you know, on a really sort of positive path. It isn't easy, but part and parcel of the job that you do as a business owner is to be that. So as much as you are a team player, you also do need to steer and lead the ship, as I call it.
Yeah.
You've got, you know, the team not necessarily behind you, but to the side of you here, who are looking to you to make the big decisions, and to take all of you as a team along with it. So I think you've got to be strong. And I have to say, if you are in this industry and you own a bridal boutique, you are already strong. There is, you know, I've never met anybody who's weak, who runs one of these businesses. Okay, you've got to be seen as the person who is doing it, leading by example. Yeah. So it wouldn't really do for somebody in this position to actually crumble. You know, and to be fair, I don't think anyone would. All of us, you know, I like to think I'm a reasonably strong person. And it's been a tough year and a half, nearly 2 years for me as well. And I think, you know, people don't want to hear me whinging on about it, you know, I didn't have as much work in the last 2 years. Who wants to hear that? What they want to hear is things are going to get better.
Yeah.
Stay strong. Don't give in. You know, don't let this beat you. Make you a better person, a stronger person.
So do you think that the consumer's changed over the last few years? I mean, in their expectations and what they expect from business service providers?
Most definitely. You know, I often say, many years ago, I used to work in the car industry, and it was very much full of people with the sort of gift of the gab, you know, slick kind of salespeople. That's gone. That went off with the dinosaurs. There is no way that you should be in the habit of being pushy, which is the dreaded word in bridal retail circles. You know, I don't want to be one of those pushy shops. I don't know how many of those really exist today, to be honest, Andy. I would hope they've gone. To be replaced by people who really have the customer's interests at heart. The buyer today, really, you know, sometimes they have expectations way up here. And it's really hard to keep meeting those expectations all the time. Yeah. And of course, I often say to my clients, if you deliver service, say here, for a particular bride, and the next bride comes in because she's been told by this person, oh, their service is right up there, you'll love it. If they then not even under-deliver, but perhaps don't perform to that level with the friend, then, you know, you've sort of lost it, haven't you, in that chunk there. And so they can feel disappointed. I would rather everyone was maybe here rather than trying to achieve that all the time, because that is achievable. And I often say that it's really important to recognise when good is good enough. Yeah. Don't dilute everything you do to the point that you become not very efficient in everything. Really keep everything honed so that you can consistently deliver a very good customer service, but it's not up here in the stratosphere, which is impossible to keep achieving.
So with starting off the year with a little bit of uncertainty, I'm just wondering if there's any kind of plan B or contingency plans that people could make in case of the worst case scenario that we do have to go into a lockdown again.
Yeah.
Are there any, obviously this is a very busy time for boutique owners. What ideas would you suggest to people that they should be maybe thinking about now on the back burner, just in case the worst scenario happens and we are forced to close up again? What ideas would you have for business owners?
That's a great question, Andy, actually, because often I think, as human beings, we tend to sort of close down and look at the worst case scenario. But I actually think we could turn this into a bit of a positive opportunity, and that would present itself definitely in things like we're doing now, which is the famous Zoom call, or indeed WhatsApp, that kind of thing. Anything where you can actually physically, either on a laptop or a phone or an iPad or whatever, actually speak to your customers.
Yeah.
I'm a really firm believer in getting to know the customer before they come through the door. It's a fantastic way to help build rapport and a healthy relationship with them. So why not use it to your advantage? Speak to them, stay in contact with them, keep open that line of communication so they don't feel abandoned. And certainly you might think about having, here's my boutique. Take a look around, because when we reopen, this is where you're going to be. So sort of breaking them in gently, and it will also, in a bizarre way, actually help alleviate any fears they may have about going into a bridal boutique, because it is a bit of a strange environment. It's quite an intimate experience for a bride. And so the more you can do prior to them coming in to make them feel comfortable, the better. So I think that instead of looking at it perhaps in a negative way, let's turn it on its head and think about how we can use it to our advantage and also to benefit the customer.
I mean, using social media and Zoom and things like that to build those relationships with people, it does, you do start to get, a relationship with people that are in your local boutique, or you start to know the name of the assistant, the name of the boutique owner, and social media can be a great way for people to develop a relationship with somebody that they can't actually meet in the flesh. So
I think that's a good point. And often, I would say the majority, if not all, of the boutiques in the UK today, I can't speak for the rest of the world, but certainly in the UK, there's a level of professionalism. There can sometimes be, because the shop window, perhaps your website, your social media, oh wow, isn't it a posh shop? Oh my gosh, it looks really expensive in there. Can I afford to go there as a bride-to-be? Whereas if you break down perhaps any negative fears and doubts they have before they walk through the door, how great is that? You're already halfway there. If we're talking about selling dresses, that relationship starts way before they walk through the door. So really, I truly believe it can be advantageous.
Well, thank you, Helena. Thanks for sharing your information with us. And I'm sure that there's been a lot of good advice and tips there for boutique owners. So we're going to make this a series. So we'll be joining you in the next over the next month or two. And we can get some more advice, and we can sort of develop and see how the year's playing out. And we can also make plans and get back to normal again. That's what everybody wants. So thanks very much, Helena.
Thank you, Andy. May I just mention one thing, and that is that I do offer a free help desk, and that's irrespective of whether you're a client or not. So all my details are on my website. Please contact me if you feel you're struggling, or you just want somebody to talk to who's sort of in the industry but not right in it in terms of sort of up to my neck in it. So bit of impartial advice and help, they're more than welcome to contact me.
So your website is, and we'll put it on the bottom of the screen.
www.helenacotter.co.uk.
Perfect. Thank you, Helena. Talk to you soon.
Thank you so much. Take care. Have a happy Christmas.
Happy Christmas
Bye-bye.
to you as well. Thank you. Bye.
Bye.